as PlayStation 5 stuff, which I think ties into everything we've been talking about with Xbox for a long time. So I don't think Microsoft is lying here. I don't think they're saying, oh, Target is a trusted partner when Target is definitely on their way out. I don't think Target is on their way out, but I do think that Target shelf space in a Target is very hard to come by. And if things are not moving, then you've got to reduce that shelf space. And so I don't think it's a world where they're going to completely punch out and not have Xbox hardware, but it doesn't seem like it's trending in a great direction either. I don't know that I would say that PlayStation 5, like like those sections look bad anyway, right? Compared to what they even looked like a few years ago. And some of that is the market and the shift towards digital sales. Like why devote a bunch of shelf space to a bunch of games that, people are just going to go download, like it makes sense on some level to just like not stock as much of that stuff. And sure enough, when you go look at the shelf full of Switch 1 games that are just laying out, not even in security, it's just like, here, just grab them and buy them. And the PS5 games are still kind of behind glass. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like retail doesn't feel good, but I don't think retail's like super healthy anyway. So it's kind of hard to, it's hard to glean much about the future of Xbox based on this, because you could just as easily look at it as like, well, we know that Xbox is not selling the way PlayStation is. That's pretty much a given at this stage. And we know that retail is kind of a weird thing anyway. And so, naturally there's going to be some shifts there. So I think it's probably more just that kind of happening. As opposed to...
What do you think about the Xboxes just carried from stores?
Deliberate,
is it because Microsoft is struggling, or is it just because
I still haven't seen anyone try to
consoles aren't selling as much in store?
Describe that. I don't know what reasoning you would have for Costco saying, "Hey,
not Microsoft
we're not going to carry Xbox anymore." I think that's kind of wild.
So we'll see. But the shelf space for all consoles are getting smaller.
Or you look
but
at it
seems like Microsoft is getting smaller or non-existent.
I haven't seen as much, so they can't satisfy whatever Costco's needs are.
Or the price has been raised past a point
I don't even think I saw the
where
Xbox
Costco doesn't feel comfortable stocking them at that price, considering they know what they were not selling for at the old price. Like it's something of that nature that it all just kind of comes to a head, and they just go like, "Oh, dude, we're done." So I don't know. Like I don't think there's no like hard fast conclusion to any of this right now. But I think these are all just signs of an industry in flux, right? Both the way games are made and the way consoles are sold and the way all of this stuff is currently happening, right? It's there's just this larger shift going on, and I don't know what this looks like on the other end of all this, I don't know like where this ends up, where this all leads, and what does the game industry look like in 3 years? When new consoles are coming out and all this other stuff, like what does it all look like? Yeah, they need more room for chicken bakes. I can't blame them. I need more room for chicken bakes, man. Speaking of the game industry, Remedy has issued a profit warning over sales of FBC Firebreak, according to VideoGamesChronicle.com, your home for the news. This is a note that they put out to investors, reporting that sales of FBC Firebreak have not reached their internal targets, and they've lowered their outlook for their current business year, which will basically result in a hit of 14.9 million euros, which according to this represents the majority of the game's development and publishing costs. That's interesting. I don't know what their targets were for FBC Firebreak in terms of, I know that the targets were higher than they reached. That's obvious. But the story, you know, everything I heard in the run up to this game's release was that, you know, this game launched on both Xbox Game Pass and on PlayStation Plus. So when they put it out, it was free for console players that were subscribers to those services. And if you're not familiar, FBC Firebreak is a co-op first-person shooter set in the Control universe. It's kind of run-based. You're kind of meant to do these missions again and again and again in a Left 4 Dead-esque manner. And it has some okay ideas. It launched without some of those ideas, and they have tried to change up the progression and things that to make it more palatable since its release. And it is a game that is okay and has some cool ideas that I don't think is especially like fantastic, but it's neat.
That's a fun race, actually.
But I don't know. My understanding was that because the games were on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus or whatever tier of PlayStation Plus it ended up on, this was not a main project for Remedy. This was something they were doing while other games were ramping up, and they had people that could work on this, and they wanted to do a multiplayer thing anyway, and then, you know, it kind of just things aligned for them to make this game. And also a lot of the costs were going to, not all of them, but like a significant chunk of the cost of making FBC Firebreak was going to be handled by the money that would come in from Game Pass and from PlayStation Plus. And so hearing that this is, you know, that they have to issue a profit warning over this is, I would say, slightly surprising to me, because I figured that kind of no matter what, even if there was a revenue shortfall, it would not be a massive one, because this always just kind of seemed like a relatively smallish project. There's a quote here from the CEO, Tero Vertala, says Remedy is recognizing a non-cash impairment of capitalized development costs and allocated purchased publishing and distribution rights related to FBC Firebreak. While we balance future investments to the title, we continue developing and improving the game in line with our updated long-term sales forecast. That's a lot of words. The game did have over 1 million players in its first 10 days, according to earlier financial reports from the company. But yeah, you know, obviously did not break through. They were put on their back feet initially, like right after launch. They were kind of in a position where they were putting out statements saying like, hey, yeah, so there's some stuff we can fix immediately, and then there's some stuff that's going to take a little bit longer time. Here's the stuff we're doing today. And they kind of rushed out some patches to change the rate at which you unlocked new gear. That game, I think, is more fun when you have all of the stuff unlocked than it is when you have low-level bad versions of the guns. And so they have changed up the way the progression works and the way the unlocks work to where you are not unlocking bad versions of guns, you're just unlocking the fully charged versions of guns. And among other things, right? And the game was bad at illustrating what made it cool. I think that there's a lot of nuance to some of the interactions in that game, where like if you're on fire, you can shoot a sprinkler on the ceiling and it will rain down on you, put out the fire. There's, you know, which is something they don't ever tell you can do. And so there was a lot of just like learning about what you could do in that game that they didn't do a good job with in terms of just like tutorializing and exposing that to you. And that, I think, didn't help either. It's like they tried to make it mysterious, or like, hey, you're going to uncover some neat tricks, but like the game was just not good enough, you know, engaging enough for people to want to.
That was bullshit, tricks, guys. Right? That was bullshit again. That was bullshit. Wow.
It happens, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah, they're issuing a profit warning over that. Union members are suing Build a Rocket Boy, the studio behind Mind's Eye. Independent Workers of Great Britain, the game workers arm of that, is suing. Build a Rocket Boy has been working through the process of laying people off post the release of Mind's Eye, which was a video game. I guess, in theory.
I knew it, dude, and it spins me around every time. Stop, dude.
They have written an open letter.
Spins me in a circle every time. Every fucking time.
Basically,
how many times I've been spun in a circle in this race, dude? Oh my, there, it wanted to try to do it again. Oh my God.
Now lost their livelihoods.
That's why you can only run so many of these races, and it's just, you gotta take a break.
Years of experience,
just too much.
One of the worst video game launches this decade. I'll co-sign that. Yes. Mind's Eye is probably one of the worst video game launches this decade. Here are a few of the issues: lack of transparency and communication, unbearable levels of overtime, which says here, in the 4 months leading up to the launch of Mind's Eye, you implemented a mandatory 8 hours of overtime per week for every single employee. Time off in lieu was given at a rate of 7 hours back for every 8 hours worked, and many have still not been able to take this time off due to your continued requests for extra high-priority work even after launch. Disastrous handling of redundancies. As well as many other issues. I was looking for a specific phrase here that I guess is not technically.
Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Come on. Yeah, he should have been off of the course. He should be off the course. Thank you.
But remember, this is the studio where the leadership at the studio, Leslie Benzies, the Benz, if you will.
Oh my God, he's fucking keeping up with me perfectly.
Was out there talking to the company and claiming that there were saboteurs working to undermine the game before its release, and blaming.
See you, dude. No, see, you're off the track, dude.
Take the studio down.
No, you're off the track, dude.
And not recognizing that, hey, you've got a bad idea. You've pivoted into this kind of bad mission-based game out of your weird sandbox NFT nightmare that you were building previous to this, and that there are other people inside and outside the companies working to take it down, which is fucking insane. The IO Interactive signed on to publish Mind's Eye. And there were quotes from them recently where, someone finally asked, hey, do you think that there were saboteurs? And they were like, no. And also, we might not continue our publishing arm ever again because of how shitty this experience was. This was not, I don't know. I don't know who you think, do they think that Sam Houser was out there paying people to make Mind's Eye bad because of whatever love was lost between them on their, when that whole thing broke up? That's stupid.
Fuck is happening?
You hit me, fool!
So the demands of the union are, they want a public apology for the mistreatment of employees, the option for remaining employees on redundancy notice to either work their notice period or take payment in lieu of notice, a concerted, meaningful, and documented effort to improve conditions and processes within the company, including the acknowledgement of the union, and a commitment to use official external partners to action any future redundancies and prevent unfair treatment. Mark Gerhardt and Leslie Benzies, you often refer to your employees as family, but we ask you to consider, is this really how you treat your own?
Wait, first page.
I would believe 100% that someone responsible for that particular era of Grand Theft Auto would treat his own family exactly that way. To be honest, I would say, yeah, probably. I don't know. Mind's Eye, there was another patch for Mind's Eye, relatively recently. Not that anyone noticed or cared. If you did not play Mind's Eye, you're not alone. It is a mission-based game where you are a dude with weird old military hardware in your head, and you're trying to find out why, or you're trying to find out something about it and why it is there. And so you go and decide to go work for the company that made it, and you quickly get wrapped up into intrigue.
You find hardware in your head, trying to find
it
out.
launched with a lot of
Why?
technical issues and things that were just, performance-wise that were just shitty. Just poor performance, memory leaks, crashes, just like stuff
Don't
like
fight.
that. But ultimately,
Share the blanket.
they could polish
Share the
that
blanket.
game up for years, and it would still be that game. That game sucks. The mission design, the storyline, the dialogue, the things you are doing inside of those missions as like a, kind of, it's like they made a kind of a Grand Theft Auto-ish sort of mission-based game with a lot of driving, but there's no real open world. So there's no side stuff. There's like nothing to do. You just do missions, and there happens to be a world there. This all came out of another large. They had the initial thing that this studio was doing was supposed to be this kind of sandbox where you are making your own games inside of it, and all of this stuff, and that thing never really came to pass. And instead, at some point they pivoted into, okay, we've got to release a game. So they used that technology to make this game, and it's not good.
I think it's good.
It's not surprising that it that all of this went down poorly. When you think about some of the things that were being said,
Yes, I've tasted your chicken.
around the game's release about sabotage and all the other insane stuff that, like,
What's wrong with you people?
It's unsurprising that, like, they didn't handle layoffs well and redundancies and the proper procedures.
All I said is I like
in
the
UK.
taste of your
it's not
chicken.
surprising that this union has its complaints about how all of that went. It's a poor product at the end of the day. It's a shame because I'm sure a lot of people worked very hard on a lot of the technology that powered it, and and then a lot of people probably worked on whatever this game ended up being. On top of that, sounds like they crunched pretty hard on it for
Wipe
a good
your
long
hands.
time. And
Come get a towel, napkin.
that game sucks. That game just straight up sucks. One of the worst games I played this year.
Too spicy for baby,
it's
huh?
always a crazy situation, right? Where it's like no one
It's a
played
texture
the
thing,
actual worst game that came out this year, because it's but in terms of like games that they were trying to charge very real money for, boy oh boy, did that thing fucking
You'll like
stink.
You'll learn to love it.
I think my favorite thing about the Mind's Eye, everything. Well, no, my favorite thing is that that you had people inside the studio, like the studio heads, blaming sabotage. That is my actual favorite thing, because what the fuck.
Yeah, I think I'm at the point where I'm supposed to finish the game.
That is my actual
and then do the other stuff, and then there's a bunch of, but then I'm like, now I don't want to.
They had contacted,
because once you finish it, you don't really want to do the side stuff. I mean, you do, but you're like,
on release day or release week.
Because I want to play the next one,
right
Vice City,
time of launch. And that there's
so I know it'll probably be like the end of the game.
They were minutes away from going into
I
their
like
sponsored
CJ.
block of, okay, it's time for me to play.
That's still the first part of the game is still the best.
Sponsored streams.
That's part when he's in when he's in the Black Hood. The game starts out, you're like in the hood. And then you move to San Francisco, basically. Then you move to Las Vegas.
No, don't. We're not.
And it's fine, but everyone remembers the first part of the game.
And so, like, a lot of, like, just ridiculous.
And yeah, it was its soundtrack. And I'm not sure, but I think that was the first one that I remember.
A ridiculous
that had,
rollout. I knew.
No, a real soundtrack, dude.
I had already
it sounded like a real radio station.
Like, some parts of it were going to go sideways.
It was playing the same stuff you heard in your car.
I had a release date. I knew that
was insane.
That
was totally insane.
Soon. And when I inquired about it, I got back a form, and one of the spots on the form was, please link to any previous coverage of Mind's Eye you have produced, which is
scary.
I'm going to say a relatively clear sign that they were trying to filter out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're not going to send. Like, it was a clear sign of just like, oh, they're not going to send this to most people. Like, no one's getting this. No one's getting a review copy of Mind's Eye because, like, all the stories about it for the past 2 weeks have been super negative and about the crazy sabotage story and how insane they are. And so once it was like, oh, we're going to try to check and see what they said about our game before we send it to them, I was like, okay, yeah, no one's getting this. Super gross. Super gross, dude. Netflix. It turns out the Netflix of video games is Netflix. No? Okay. Netflix has announced that they are going to be putting out some streamable video games. You're going to be able to stream video games on Netflix, which is interesting. They've done some interactive video and some other cool stuff before that was interesting. They've also, had mobile games that you could only play if you were a Netflix subscriber, which I think is really dumb and not a good fit. Instead, what they're going to be doing is releasing a couple of games that you will be able to play on TVs, streaming via streams. You know, it's some of this stuff looks pretty lightweight. It's like Boggle Party, you know, Pictionary, you know, like it's 5 games that are part of the rollout. But of those 5 games, one of them is Tetris. Specifically, it is Tetris Time Warp.
Gosh dang it.
Which is the new version of Tetris that they made for the Digital Eclipse made for Tetris Forever. So that is going to be getting a weird standalone release as a streaming game on Netflix, which is it's interesting. Lego Party is also part of this, which I guess Lego Party came out?
Okay.
Did Lego Party come out? Did they release a Lego Party? Yeah, okay, September 30th. Okay, so I guess Lego Party's been out for a couple of weeks. That is also going to be released on Netflix, which is interesting. I don't know. I don't want to see that. But okay. But I don't know, like the idea of playing Tetris on a video, you know, on a with like streaming latency is interesting. I wonder if they made any changes to it to kind of better facilitate that, or if it's just the game kind of raw. It's an interesting. Yeah, I don't know. You know, Netflix. I feel like Netflix has been wanting to do something with games for a while, and obviously they were doing the mobile stuff, and they've done some of the interactive TV things, and so it's like they've tried a few different things. This feels most, I don't know, playing to the strengths of what Netflix does, right? Streaming video to people. I wonder if this is something that they try to get
right
into
in a circle.
Way.
And then I'm gonna try to hit in another circle now. My car is smoking. No, it's just God, dude. Oh, it's so annoying. It is so annoying, dude.
I don't think that's a sensible future for Netflix, but I do wonder if they would, if they see success.
This guy in the front is just flying, dude, right through all this, not hitting any cars,
in a world where
not having any problems. I can't even see him, dude.
Jackbox would be a great fit for this, but the thing I was going to say is in a world
where's he at, dude?
The
Come on.
Amico games were actually worth playing or good in any way, which now that more and more of those games have been showing up on Steam and showing up on phones and stuff, like it's pretty, you have a pretty good idea. Like, oh, all these games are awful. Most of these games
Go up with fucking hitting the cars. I don't know how they do that to me, dude.
No, I do not. No, I actually don't.
I don't know how I think I'm passing the car.
Like
I'm
the
not.
Amico family gaming concept, you know, would actually make sense as a arm of Netflix. But, you know, whatever. At the end of the day, they're going to have Boggle and some of these word games, puzzle games, like, you know, kind of the simple, relatively simple stuff that I think makes a lot of sense for Netflix to be getting into. And the games that they're choosing to release are probably much smarter choices than anything that was announced for the Amico, I suppose. There's still people out there that are like say that the Amico is going to come out. Like they're still like, well, we're selling these games. You know, like they've started. What they've done is some of the games that were developed for the Amico, some of those got sold off to other companies that are publishing them on like Steam and Switch. And then there's an Amico app for phones, and there's some games you can buy inside of that for way too. It's like 15. It's way too much money. These games are way too much money. But all of that still filters back to like a guy on a Discord somewhere who says, yeah, we're doing this to make sure that we get enough money to make the Amico. And you're like,
fuck you too.
I guess the minute that guy says, no, the dream is dead, then everyone wants a refund, right? Like right now, someone wrote in a few weeks ago and said that they were looking for a refund, and there's like a set number of dollars set aside every month for refunds, and they're being processed in order. So like that guy had filed for his refund and was told like, oh yeah, in some number of years you'll be able to get your refund. Just like, what? Bizarre that that's still a thing. And that there are still like some lunatics out there that are like true believers that are just like, no, you just don't understand. When the Amico comes out, you'll all see. Like it's really, well, whatever. Is that hard to believe when we look at you know what Facebook and social media has done to people's brains, and we look at the political climate and the insane shit that people are willing to believe, despite the like the facts staring them in the face a lot of the time. Like, is it that hard to believe that like there's a couple of just like people that are just all the way gone, that are just like the Amico? They're like, yeah, okay, I don't know. Like people are fucking ride or die for the dumbest shit imaginable. I guess it makes sense that there would still be someone that would be psyched about the Amico. That's going to do it for the news. Why don't we take a couple of emails here? podcast@guard.bike is the email address for you to send your emails to. If you send them anywhere else, I won't see it. Let's see. What do we have here? Phil from Detroit writes in and says, physical media is back? Are you fascinated by this revitalization of CDs and DVDs? I get a kick out of seeing newer generations fascinated by them, the way that millennials got into records and tapes. Also, what is your experience with disc rot? The revitalization of CDs and DVDs, I don't know, man. For me, it's like the people that are making cassette tapes and selling tapes on Bandcamp. I think that's the fucking true psychotic shit. But tapes are also kind of cool. I keep thinking about buying a new tape player because I've gotten some tapes off Bandcamp. It was just like, well, I'm gonna buy this album, and I guess I get a cassette tape with it? What? Sure, why not? I'm trying to think back to the last time I had a car that had a tape deck in it. I bought a Mustang GT in 1997, and it came with a tape deck, and then I immediately ripped that tape deck out. It was a tape deck and a separate CD player. It was like 2 units. I ripped all that shit out and put in an MP3. This was like one of the first MP3 playing head units that they sold in the States. It was a Kenwood. Had a sick dolphin on it. It was fucking awesome. And I don't think I've had a tape deck in a car since. I don't think I've had a working tape deck or like hooked up to anything since. You know, I don't know. So I bought the fucking. I don't know why. I bought the Tron and Tron Legacy 4K Blu-rays that came out because I knew if I didn't order them immediately, they would be sold out and impossible to get. And so when I saw that they were in stock somewhere, I went, oh shit. And then they took forever. They finally showed up last week. And it's those movies in 4K, which there are other ways to watch those movies in 4K that were not delayed by weeks and weeks. So even though I had ordered them, I've somehow managed to watch both of those movies in 4K in the time waiting for those discs to show up. I don't know, man. Physical media is a great way to like have backups of things that you ripped and threw on a shelf, I guess. I don't know. Like I have no desire to interact with discs. I have no desire to like have a shelf of discs and take one out and put it in the player and watch a thing and do this, and when I can just do that once and through the magic of this awesome fucking external Blu-ray player I bought for like no dollar, for like 40, 30, I don't know, some stupid low amount of money. That problem is now solved, and I don't need to keep getting back to the shelf to put a thing, you know, like rip the CDs. I have a zillion CDs in the garage that I re-ripped as flax because, you know, I ripped a lot of them decades ago into like MP3s that were like 112 kilohertz, you know, it's like garbage quality MP3s.
Oh, look, a girl.
Had to be replaced. Re-ripped them all as flax. And I don't know, like that's the value of physical media to me is like, okay, here's a backup that is a little more static. Like if a hard drive crashes, then I'm well, fuck. I guess I got to rip this stuff again, you know, and that's why it's there. I don't know, but I don't like the revitalization of physical media. I don't think that's. I don't know. It's all that stuff is kind of pointless. Fred Chuck Dave says hates physical media, owns 50,000 games. You'll notice that most of those games are from an older era, and up to a certain point, it stops. I think I have one PlayStation 5 game. It's Hades. They sent me a copy of Hades. Also, that's the other thing, is that I've been working in this industry for a long time and have a lot of discs that were sent to me for review purposes that I would probably not own otherwise. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's physical media is neat and pointless, especially for games of a certain vintage. I've got here this is a SD card here, micro SD card inside of an SD card adapter. This is 1.5 terabytes, which is bigger than it needs to be. But this has every Sega Saturn game ever released on it. This was in my Satiator. And Sega Saturn games take up a lot of room on a shelf. They're big boxes. I'm going to keep them all because I have them, and you know, there's probably some Saturn games that I would consider getting rid of, but like I feel like I'm interested in ditching mostly newer stuff and then a lot of cartridge-based stuff that I don't have any nostalgic attachment to.
Sydney with the cat out.
You know, as I've said multiple times, I think the first category of game I would go through and get rid of are Super Nintendo games because I have a lot of them. I don't need them. I would keep like 5 of them. I'd be like, here's my Super Mario World. Here's my copy of Super Mario World that I got when I bought my SNES. And like a handful of other games. You don't need them. You don't need, like, there's no the reasons to have these like physical artifacts. You just don't need them. So physical media, I think, is a pain in the ass. I'm glad that it exists as a convenience, as a true, like, let me get a thing that I'm going to be able to manipulate in the way that I want to, which increasingly for modern games is not the case, right? like Battlefield 6 was an interesting one because you had people that were getting a hold of disc-based copies of Battlefield 6 for the PlayStation, like before it was released. And so the word went around, hey, the whole game's on the disc. And people were like, yeah, cool. When you put that disc in, the first thing it does, when you launch Battlefield 6, the very first thing it does is connect to a server. And if it cannot connect to the server, you cannot play it. That includes the campaign. There's nothing you can do. Like, that disc is useless as anything other than an install medium. You're not getting anything on that disc. And I wonder, the other thing I wonder is when I installed Battlefield, when they sent Battlefield 6, I got it for PlayStation 5. I installed it and I launched it and we're like, okay, let's play the campaign. And the first thing it did was, you don't have the campaign installed. Like, what? And then I had to go and individually install, and I had to do it one at a time. There were 4 different packages to install. There was single player, there was multiplayer, there was HD textures for the single player, and HD textures for the multiplayer. And so I had to go through and manually hit install on all of those. I assumed that I assumed that maybe the disc had all that stuff on it already and wasn't just the shell and you didn't have to go download all that stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think people knew then, but maybe they did. Either way, modern games are online. Modern games require servers and all of that stuff. And so the idea of like, I've got to collect physical discs for these games, like, who gives a shit? No, you don't. Because it still has to connect to a server. Like, maybe someday, and when I say maybe someday, I think the other part of the problem gets solved too. Where like, oh, you know, someone's going to come up with a private server for this and make it launch and it'll continue to do this and whatever else. Like, okay, yeah, maybe they will. At that point, there will also be ways to get your hands on the game to where I don't need the fucking PlayStation 5 disc to do it, right? It's just so, you know, I don't know, like, that's, again, like, modern games have server connections and sometimes those servers are unavailable, and when the games run their course, sometimes the servers go away. So the idea of collecting a physical copy of Battlefield 6 for a console seems like fucking stupid to me. Dude, like, why are you wasting your time with this? Like, what do you hope to gain with this thing? I don't know, man. Like, it's on a shelf. Great. I don't know. Get it on Steam. Nathan from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Right, Sam. It says, do you have any sense of how far along This Is Vegas was before it got canceled? Could a build ever leak? I was at PAX 2008, and they had a panel on the schedule, which was, of course, canceled. I just love atypical open-world games and would love to play it. In the meantime, finishing The Wheelman will have to suffice. Nathan, about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, maybe, Tuesday now. So a little over 2 weeks ago, I was on a call with multiple ex-Midway employees, and I asked the very question that you asked me. I said, "Who the fuck has This Is Vegas? Why isn't that leaked? What the fuck's going on?" And because This Is Vegas is like legendary as a stupid fucking joke. So my understanding from talking to ex-Midway employees is that This Is Vegas was available in chunks. Like, when they went to demo it for the company, they had different parts of the game on different, like, the build was not one unified game at that point. It was like, okay, we've got this Xbox here, and this one runs the gambling one. We've got this Xbox here, and this is, you're driving around on this one. And then this box over here has the strip club on it with the combat sequence. And so I saw that game at an event, and it was, the builds were the same way theirs too. But I don't think they ever got that game to a point where all of it was in one thing. And so I asked the question, I said, who the fuck has builds of that game? Like, someone does, right? And they racked their brains. They started kicking around names of people that I don't know who they were. But it was like, I bet this guy would have this guy. So, I don't know. I would love to see This Is Vegas in some form because of the legendary mess that it has become amongst my group of friends who used to work at Midway. But yeah, I don't know. This Is Vegas was always, it never seemed like it had fully coalesced into a full video game. It was just like a bunch of demos and concepts that were not necessarily joined together. And so, that said, yes, there are builds of it, but if you're expecting something that is a big, fully fledged open world game and like a fully fledged preview build that's completable or anything, like, I don't think This Is Vegas ever got that far along. I could be wrong about that, but my understanding is that it's not a thing that reached a far enough along sort of thing. Jehoshaphat says, who greenlit that? I mean, I guess it'd be Neil Nicastro, right? I mean, he was the guy that was probably like, Matt Booty didn't take over Midway until it was like done. Like, Neil Nicastro was there, I think, until very close to the actual end, and then Matt Booty was the CEO there for the final days of Midway and the sale to Warner and all that stuff. And now he runs studios at Xbox. But Neil Nicastro was the guy running Midway, I think, at the time. So he would have been probably the guy to greenlight and I'm sure the pitch is just like, we're going to make a Grand Theft Auto. Like, yeah, we are. Hell yeah. I don't know. That'll save the company. No. Michael in Brisbane writes in and says, with everything becoming a subscription nowadays, do you ever see Steam eventually charging for cloud saves? In 2025, it's realistically amazing. I can jump from my deck back to my PC and pick up where I left off without owing someone some money. What are your thoughts on cloud saves eventually being a paid-for service? So, specifically with regards to Steam, remember, Steam takes, 30%, right? They did not change the cut that they take just because Tim Sweeney was mad about it, right? Like, they still take their cut. The thing that you're paying for when you pay Valve 30% of your game sale, or whatever percentage it is, you forget the 30%, but like when you pay Valve a percentage of money for the sale of your game, like, that is stuff that is then, in theory, funding development of the Steam platform and keeping it running and all of this other stuff. And so part of what Steam offers to developers, similarly what Xbox offers to developers and what PlayStation offers to developers as well, Nintendo, I suppose, on their paid service, but Nintendo is technically charging for cloud saves, is that per title storage. Like, okay, you can store this much data per user on our back end. They're also, hey, you're also paying for, like, hey, here's a service that will let it, like, if I wanted to go delete and re-download a game 100 times, I don't think Valve would stop me. Maybe they should. But you can download that game again. Like, part of that money goes to funding Steam, the platform, the bandwidth, all of that stuff, keeping that company up and running. And so I look at it as someone is already paying for cloud storage. I guess. Does PS5 saves? Yeah, they charge for cloud saves as well on PlayStation Plus. You're right, they do. Xbox does not. And Valve, doesn't either. But But like those are sorts of the things that you end up getting as a result of Steam, right? You get access to Steam with its wonderful community forums. Ugh. Gross. But you get, hey, you get cloud storage up to a certain point. Like, you can't, if you were a game manufacturer and you said, hey, we're going to store 100 gigs per user in the cloud, I think Valve would be like, how about instead, I'm sure there's caps on it, right? I don't know what the storage limit is per user, but there is something. And the ability to download the game again. You're getting a platform that has stuff like Steam Workshop support, if that's something that you want your game to be able to do. That it's like you're getting the, by putting your game on Steam and signing that contract with them to distribute your game there, that is what they are bringing to the table. Is not just the Steam audience, which is large. They're also bringing a network of services.
That's real stylish,
for users and for developers to use to kind of service the game and play the game going forward. So I don't think it would make sense. I don't think it would make sense on Steam specifically for them to start to charge a separate subscription for cloud saves or anything of that nature. I just don't think it lines up with the ethos that I think that PC gaming signed up, that like PC gaming and the people that sell it in its purer formats. I don't think that it's something that makes a lot of sense there. GOG, does GOG have cloud saves? Does Good Old Games? Or is it a per game thing? Because I know that, well, I guess they had but Cyberpunk had a separate thing. But okay, yeah, so we're reaching out to inform you that your cloud this is a support page on GOG. We're reaching out to inform you that your cloud saves files exceed the default allocation limit of 200 megabytes per game. Anything that goes over that will be deleted as of August 31st, 2024. So that looks like they put a per title limit on how much you could store in the cloud. And this is like a user-facing, this isn't to developers to tell developers like, hey, you need to have your games limit to 200 megs per game. This is something they're telling users. So, like GOG's not charging a separate fee for that to players either. I don't see that as like, I feel like especially on these PC oriented services, I don't think that makes a ton of sense. Because I think that's, that to me has always been part of what developers are paying for. Because remember, like the real original value of Steam, the real original pitch from Valve to developers to sell their games on Steam, which was initially just a Counter-Strike distribution mechanism, right? Like Half-Life 2. But part of third-party games appearing on Steam was that patching PC games fucking sucked. And so if you were putting out a PC game and you wanted to update it, you needed to figure out how to get that update into players' hands. And so you either needed to account for that when you were building the game and build a patcher into it, and then you needed to host the files and pay for all that bandwidth yourself. Or, or you didn't have an automatic patcher and you had people that needed to go to a website to find out, hey, there's a patch available, and they needed to download it and manually patch their thing themselves, which led to the rise of, GameSpy and File Planet and, like all of these services. GameSpot launched a client. We launched a client called Game Center, which was a Quake Spy ripoff, and also it was designed to be able to patch games, but it didn't support very many games, and the plug was pulled on it because it was not a great idea. But like, you would have to sit there and wait 30 seconds to download a patch, or you'd have to look at a bunch of ads, and you have to click on this, and then if you sign up and subscribe, you'll get our fast servers instead of the slow ones. And so patch distribution used to be so scattershot, just this buckshot approach, just like, fuck it, man. Like, you could fucking write them a letter and say, can you mail me a floppy disk with the patch on it? And then some companies had to send them out like that, because what the fuck is the internet? You'd have to log on to a BBS and download patches for Doom The Dark Ages, man. Steam came along and said, hey, we can do all that. And it'll all still tie into this. We've got, you know, server browser functionality, you know, so we've got like the Game Spy, the Quake Spy end of this handled, because it's all stuff that we had to build for our own games. We had to do this, you know, like they built all that stuff. And they did not build it incredibly well on day one. Like, you know, Steam was not like an amazing service out of the gate. They had to build that stuff over time and work on it over time. But they solved that problem to where all of the other horseshit, you know, like ways of downloading patches just ceased to exist. Because, you know, you were on Steam or you were on some other platform that offered similar services. The idea of manually going and downloading, like when you launch Warframe, it has a launcher that the first thing it does is go like, all right, we're gonna check for patches, and it does its own patching shit. You know, they don't even really use the Steam stuff directly for whatever reason. I think that's of an amazing, as someone who was playing games on the PC in the early 90s before any of this stuff existed, it is a godsend. Steam has its flaws. The toxic, horrific community, the garbage message boards that if you're a developer, you can't just turn them off. Like, you have to put up with all of that shit. And I think that's a bummer. I wish that stuff was better. And that they moderated it. You know, like, there's just a lot of stuff there. You just go like, this stuff doesn't, you know, this stuff is not adding to anyone's experience. But on the level of just maintaining a game, keeping it active and finding out how many other players, you know, if you're using the Steamworks stuff that they have now for, well, whether it's player matching or just all the other stuff that they can do on Steam, it's really, again, if you were playing PC games before that stuff became the standard, like talking about it now, there are still things about Steam that blow me away in that specific context of like, man, it used to be so fucked. It used to be so fucked. Having to manually patch PC games and like, oh, we're trying to play a modem game of Total Annihilation, but this guy downloaded some units he got some units that were on a floppy disk that came with a magazine, and I don't have those. What do I do? Like, ridiculous. The hoops that you used to have to jump through just to do all of this stuff, and the idea that Steam came along and over time, like not a lot of time, but over you know, it did. Like I said, it took them a while to kind of get more and more of these features in place. They solved all of the big pain points for both developers and players when it came to
Bobs!
Keeping a game current,
Sandy!
Playing a game with another person, playing games on the internet, like a lot of stuff. They just
This run.
Too low down niggas going crazy.
I've done for some chicken rice. Yeah, dinner to cook now. Go get a shirt off.
Everything to help with this. Work.
Move your body, move your body.
Now, water's out. Train one of your members, huh? Sydney, let's get that turned off, baby. It's time to eat. It's only going to make it an issue here. I'm serving right now. Didn't get the water out like I asked. It's okay, but that. Yeah, let's just get. You guys wash up. Go wash up for dinner. There. This computer. It's everyone. Napkins for everybody.
Okay.
I just had a hot dog, Mom.
Jerry, that's the food. No, we were waiting for you.
It wasn't here. This is the Lord and Jesus, I guess, are baptism about Jesus Christ, Lord. And
What was that?
oh,
Yeah. How some little rice to
This is what served. I didn't save any white rice. You can't always have a separate meat.
what?
That has rice in it. And chicken. So you need. Yeah, you gotta try
That's
it.
dinner, baby.
That's dinner, so
Sorry.
if you don't eat it, you don't eat it. But
What do you eat?
Why don't you try some?
you still have to sit at the table with
Okay.
us.
Yep. Sit for dinner.
Baby, you're eating. No, that's not how you.
I don't have any children.
What?
They got shot so
I'm talking about the way you're shoveling food in your mouth. Miss Eager to argue.
Every time my heart.
Like we don't take a.
Be careful, Mom. But yeah.
I'm just saying, Papa, please.
Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, biatch.
Oh, it's just something.
I'm gonna try to put this.
It always gets super neggy.
I almost died.
Time.
With what?
Food went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, actually, yeah. Thumbs up. Boom.
I even like it.
You're eating some of the
You
little
need to
rice.
sit, Izzy Bear. Sit right.
Eat one of the little rice bowls.
That's the name of it.
You can stop it to sit right.
I don't know why, but like
I know.
the corn just tastes like
Mm.
it just tastes
Couldn't
like
sweet baby corn is different.
Mm-hmm.
it just tastes like nothing.
Mom, what's that? Is this the whole thing? That's too much.
That's too much chicken.
Yeah.
Well, eat what you can.
What's that? Is it? Oh.
That's fine. Eat
Joseph,
what you can.
people are saying Spirit Halloween is dying because of the like the animatronics.
Mom, what's that doing?
What?
Because they changed the
Baby,
animatronics.
then don't eat it all, baby. Just eat what you can. It's okay.
The animatronics, you have to like go online, find the whole collection and order it online. So you can like purchase the animatronic in store. Yeah.
I guess that was one of their big things.
It's like one of their big things that happened.
Well, I would assume it's just more greed, so they don't like over order stock or stuff like that.
Mhm.
I feel like the purpose of going to a Spirit Halloween is you don't want to order something online.
That's good. Now eat your food.
Wait, something.
The Halloween.
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 I lost my voice.
Yeah, you can sit here and wait for us to finish.
Go find it.
I'm sure somebody will.
Well, that's not TV.
No, it's dinner time. If you're done, that's fine, but you can sit here with us. You can't go run off.
But yeah, that wasn't like big deal about Spirit Halloween.
I didn't know that. I've never been to Spirit Halloween.
You have one.
I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
One time in your life.
Yeah.
Nothing
I
but
took
a
you and
cheap
your
thing,
sister.
baby.
What costumes did they pick?
This is Frankenstein.
Oh, that one where you guys dyed her hair.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
I guess that was a ninja problem.
Probably. I don't remember what Bubs picked out, but
You just picked nothing.
I was a ninja like 4 years.
mhm.
I think I picked nothing.
What are you looking at?
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed in Spirit Halloween because they had brought the hunter section.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of disappointed.
There's only like 3 costumes.
No, but the other movies had like props, like their props, like a clock or like a crap,
Like for what movies?
like Red, Glinda.
Those have been out longer too.
Still, they should have had like maybe
Also, Wicked.
weapon options.
Don't compare it to Wicked. It's like that's way bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Like way bigger.
Oh yeah, they're making the Minecraft movie too. Yeah.
We're making them.
Well, I actually K-pop now.
Oh.
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
So, what did everyone think?
Here we go.
God.
I think the chicken
Ew.
should have been cut small.
Yeah.
Possibly, but you know,
Sorry, but
yeah.
Very large.
When you're cutting everything, yeah, that's just how it is. And
I couldn't do any better. So
and I already had like 3 batches of chicken, so if I cut them any smaller, it would have been
a lot better.
a lot of batches of chicken. So I did.
so Mama, I said flag tomorrow, but you're gonna finish. Are we going to go to storage?
I don't know.
Plans are as they come.
Mm-hmm.
And like, is that probably?
Again, I'm not sure. We are most likely going over to Jaylene's. Yes.
Oh my God.
When?
Late afternoon.
Okay.
so we can see your new house. And in
Are they
Tulsa.
close?
I don't know much about it.
Midtown, probably.
And then, what, baby? Why are you?
I'm done.
Okay, well, sit at the table until everyone else is done.
Look, I'm done. I'm sitting here.
Yeah, that's what you do. You don't get to get up and play just because you decided not to eat. But, and then, after dinner, then, we're thinking about going to one of the Y's nearby and take the girls swim.
Last summer swim. Where it gets.
Outdoors closed. It's all indoors.
Hi.
So,
It's night time.
just this,
Like, I mean,
she has a Y membership and we have a Y membership, so something to do.
Are they coming?
Yes. That's the whole point.
Hi, Tommy.
Yeah. Well,
what was that big Y we went to? That big indoor too.
that's
like that one.
Candy, I believe.
Which one?
Because I had like, it was pretty much like a water park on the inside.
Mhm.
It pretty much was.
Nighttime.
It'll be kind of nighttime.
It'll be like this time.
Mm-hmm.
Touch the food too. Like, ah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can I have some bunch for written?
I need to stop my.
Can I have a mix of both?
No. You guys can wait. I'm going to be making the dessert in just a minute.
Oh, Mom.
What?
Munching it? Oh?
May I inquire as to what this?
No.
No.
Well, I think I know what it is, though.
I think I know what it is.
No. We made it.
I think I know what it is.
By inquiring, then. Yeah.
Fine, thank you. Mom, like us tonight.
You ate it?
Did
You
she?
liked it?
Yeah.
Damn.
But no.
I did that. But
You just like the rice?
Yeah.
Like,
Satisfied.
But she did try it, Dad.
wow, that's
Big girl.
big girl. Super impressed. Super duper impressed.
Boys. Like a big ball.
Oh, you dance just like Elsa.
yeah, yeah.
You do. It's amazing.
I think
I know how to dance like Elsa.
making us deserve.
Oh, she is. Mom, she knows how to dance like Elsa.
Oh, okay.
Did you put mine up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I am
Can you game?
quite literally astounded by some of the servants. So I'll walk out to like the servant probably to put something up. Piles of dirty spoons, plates, like 10 feet down. Okay.
No, we're gonna act.
Light bulb on? Yeah, maybe. Turn on the living room light, please. And it's getting darker for a day, I suppose. Yeah.
You guys need to pick up your clothes. They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
No. That's tomorrow night, kid. You said is it time?
Found ways to standardize it and still let you bring your own stuff if if you're like, oh well, whatever, if EA wants to run its own
So you
servers,
need
like
to
you can
call
do
and
all that
schedule
shit,
an appointment.
like all of that. But especially for a lot of smaller developers that might not have the resources to put out a fucking patch and host it on their website when all of that stuff costs a lot more money
How much money?
just to do.
Just make sure you keep those retainers.
Yeah, it was they did a lot. They did a lot for PC gaming.
So yeah.
And it's easy to forget that.
Again all the time.
It's easy to forget that for sure.
I tried that spoon. Just like
And then Bob's the rice can get
A
put
couple
up.
people wrote it, and we were talking about cloud services last week, and the idea that they're going to be people that just don't care enough about quality to and Darren from New York City wrote in. So I heard your thoughts about cloud gaming. Have you checked out GeForce Now recently? I never expected to be much of a cloud player myself, but the convenience of playing a good chunk of the Game Pass games at 4K 60 is pretty amazing as someone who only owns a PS5. My internet is nothing special, and I can't tell the difference between playing a game like Fortnite or Siege locally versus on GeForce Now with the 5080 tier. Not that NVIDIA needs a cheerleader, right there. But to their credit, they've kept the one promise of cloud gaming that I've always found the most compelling: periodic hardware updates to push the boundaries of how well the games run. They ramped from 3080 to 4080 a few years back, and 5080 earlier this year with no change in price. So I totally get your opinions on some of the other cloud stuff that's out there. You should check out GeForce Now. I looked at GeForce Now. I guess it's coming up on about a year now. When did Assassin's Creed come out? It was right around the time that the last Assassin's Creed was released. That was March of this year. So I looked at it a little bit then, and yeah, I think I would say that, like, when cloud gaming works, it works, and some of that is going to be dependent on the game, and some of that's going to be dependent on the hardware. I feel like people with positive things to say about cloud gaming in general are usually talking about GeForce Now over Game Pass or over any of the Sony offering. Though some of that just depends on which ecosystem you're a part of, right? So yeah, I do think that there's some value in that, and
I think when you drive too much in this game, it gives you motion sickness
versus in the cloud.
All the traffic going like this, personally, like, gives you actual motion sickness just because the uncanny valley tickling in the back of your head, and everything's just going like this, like it's.
But again, I think there is a wide range of players. I'm not
that's supposed to help,
the most,
but this makes you really motion sick.
But it's
different than normally
cross a certain threshold.
When anti-lock brakes first came out, everybody freaked out.
Something's real bad here. What the hell's going on?
Because they unlock.
What it is.
They'll release by themselves, and then they lock again, and they release. But yeah, what would happen is when they released, people would let their foot off the brake. Well, then they wouldn't lock back up. Basically, they stutter. Instead of you locking your brakes up, what anti-lock brakes do is they go pop, 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 like they pump the brake for you. Basically, when you're in a panic situation and you slam your foot on the brake, it starts pumping the brakes for you. Well, when they first came out, everyone would freak out, just naturally, and you would take your foot off the brake and then start pumping it yourself,
where someone can be looking into a camera.
But I think, are they standard now? I think anti-lock brakes might be standard.
It looks natural and normal. It's very
difficult. But usually, if you got your foot slammed on the brake, you're fucked anyway.
Right? The TVs
and not bad, but then you're not turning. Like, yeah. And there's times that's all you can do is slam your foot on the brake.
Whatever box.
Try to keep it going in a straight line.
Through half of them add a frame or two, and so by the time you get to the screen, you're already losing 5-6 frames, and then the TV itself is not not a great low latency screen, because we only had the budget to buy them that quarter, and that quarter we could not get the approved retailer list to buy.
Gotta sweep the floor.
Yeah, I'll work on issues. You can sweep the floor, and all the rugs are up, so start in the back, and I'm gonna sweep that whole, sweep the whole floor.
The glorious sound of a hole-in-one.
Great shot, boss.
Thanks.
Not bad, Woozy.
So, the Sindaco family was behind the attempts to sabotage our venture. I wonder why it's only them and not the others.
Probably ain't just them. Rule of the streets, don't snitch. What we need is to hit the Mafia casino. Yeah, go jack the place.
Hey, hitting a casino isn't like gangbanging. It's a whole different league.
Yeah, you right. It'll take some planning, but I'm down. She always wanted to pull a heist.
Nope. I planned it, Jace.
What the?
Bad luck. Listen, you're gonna need a crew and some special equipment.
Yeah, it'll take some explosives. Always gotta blow up shit to pull a heist.
You know what? There's an open cast mine southwest of the city limits. They must have explosives.
I'll go peep it out.
Young oh, what it?
Buy the TVs from didn't have any actually good TVs, so we bought a bunch of bad 4K TVs. Ugh. Sucked, man.
Brought my helicopter.
This is like frustrating. It's like one of those dumb problems that, like, until you're in the middle of it, you're like, I can't believe that this is now a new problem to have. But I've undergone like smaller versions of it right here in this room, with the splitter to the capture card pass through that goes to this screen that like is technically a little bit behind the screen that's over here, but it's more natural for me to look this way while I'm streaming versus turning my entire body on. The eventual answer is to reorganize the entire room and reorganize where everything is, and not have to fucking do that. But all of it's a hassle. Let's see here. Levi from Los Angeles writes in, maybe I don't even need to read this email, maybe it's just the subject line, where he has written, Game Pass, more like Game Ass. I've been an Xbox Live / Game Pass Ultimate subscriber for 25 years since the start. And with the price hike news, I did the calculus and figured that outside of Avowed and Indiana Jones, I wasn't even reaching the potential value on the old subscription model. I will casually play Call of Duty every 2 or 3 years or so, but I largely feel compelled to keep it because of all the legacy games I have accumulated over the years. That changed when they upped the price. Yeah, it's not, oh yeah, sorry, he said 23 years. I misread it as 25. But yes, I guess 23 is the actual. I think that's the number on my Xbox Live profile. It's 23 years, 21 years, whatever it is. That changed when they upped the price, so I decided to cancel. I thought maybe they'd give me a don't go option to continue my price for a nominal amount of time, and yet after 23 years of supporting them, I get nothing. Surely they had to know that taking care of decades-long customers would be a worthy investment, but no, just let me cancel with no effort to keep my business. The luster of the 360 era is now gone, and when reflecting, I can't think of the last time I even fired up my Xbox, since everything looks and runs better on PC. So in a way, I'm thankful they made this fucking ridiculous cash grab move, because I needed to let go of my console gaming ties, and with all their open AI shit, being unable to complete a sentence without jamming in an AI-powered marketing speak, and their increasing support of warfare tech, along with closing numerous studios, I'm out. I can't be alone in this and cannot wait to see how many people like me are doing the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing I would say is that you're still running games on PC. And so you're still, even if you're not directly in their ecosystem, you're still close enough to where they might get you back. Maybe you sign up for PC Game Pass at some point. Maybe you buy a game off their store instead of Steam. Unlikely as that may be. Possible.
Yeah, that whole Xbox thing is straight up racism, dude. And I get it. But, you know, because they're American, that was the only reason they ever got it. And that's fine. We do need an American video game company, I guess. But Microsoft, dude.
Because you can do that, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. Speaking of supportive warfare tech. You know, and said like, hey, are you canceling Game Pass? Are you keeping it? Or did you just never have it? And the biggest answer was, I didn't have it in the first place, followed by, I am canceling it. And then a handful of people saying, yeah, I'm going to keep it. You know, obviously these are small sample sizes and what have you. I'm curious to see And I don't know that we'll know, right? I mean, at some point they just go like, oh, well, we're no longer going to announce the, we're just no longer going to announce these numbers anyway. So, I wonder what we'll hear about just the movement in Game Pass subscriptions. I wonder if more people moved down a tier, or if more people canceled. I feel like it's easier to just cancel and reassess, right? Just go like, all right, I'm out. And then if when you're out, if you miss it, then you can evaluate the different tiers of Game Pass and decide if you want to get back in or not.
What do you think you're doing?
But yeah. The price hike is still, it's not happening until November, right? So if
Get away from that dynamite.
Could you buy a bunch of prepaid cards and like stock up or something? Is that still a weird option for people if they want to try to lock in at a certain price? I don't actually know the answer to that question. I thought it was. I think that's the case, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, you can do that. Okay. Yeah. X Scissors says they bumped me down a tier from gold to essential. Well, it's that they eliminated gold, right? Because gold wasn't a Game Pass tier. It was right. It was like gold was just the Xbox Live gold, and then they turned that into essential. And
we're getting in. Get in, CJ. He's gonna try to jack us.
And kind of go that way with it. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, so if you buy cards for tiers that don't exist and redeem them, and they used to convert. Is that how they do it? I guess they always did do that kind of weird conversion stuff. Last year I bought a bunch of Game Pass cards. Well, the last time they were doing the price hike or something, I forget. I don't know. I think I have like there was some.
Don't tell me that plane is still there.
That I ended up.
We got this.
Maxing out or something. I forget.
Oh.
Turn up the radio.
Turn up the radio.
But
I got to find a way out of this
Matt
quarry.
writes in to say, to me, the value of Game Pass is completely in discovery.
Bad guys
I
are
get
coming
to
to
try
get
out
me.
a ton
Where's
of
the dirt
games
bike?
that I normally wouldn't play. Yeah.
Okay, so now I got to get a dirt bike.
Certainly value in that for sure.
And find my own way out.
Okay.
Oh, don't shoot me, bro. Oh, he's shooting at me, bro. He's shooting at me. He's shooting. He's a shooter.
About the same topic. The console landscape
He's
price
a shooter.
increases and the recent discussions around Xbox and PlayStation really made me reflect and reevaluate where to buy games. As I age, I have more responsibilities to pay for, and spending $700 on a gaming system keeps being pushed down the priority list. Also, I only play about 3 or 4 big games a year, with many more indie and puzzle games. My entry into this generation was a Series S with Game Pass, but with the Game Pass price increase, my decision tree is really thrown for a loop. As an additional note, I prefer not to game on the PC as I work at a
Which way am I going now?
And would like to be in a different room.
Which way am I going? Oh, this way? Up the
Currently,
stairs?
I own a Series S, a Steam Deck, and a Switch. Here's how I used to buy games. Step 1. If I've never played it before and it's on Game Pass, I'll play it on Game Pass. If not, I will purchase on Series S or
where am I going?
Steam to play on Steam Deck.
Right
depending
there.
on whether it's a graphically demanding game or not.
On the side. Oh.
Graphically demanding games going to the Series S and Steam Deck or not. If I've played the game and I really love it to see myself replaying it down the line, I would collect a physical copy for the Switch if available. This is a really involved system you've got here. I was thinking at some point I would buy a PlayStation 5 to buy physical games for the PS5, but it hasn't happened yet. I've been wanting but holding off on buying a PS5 for a long time because I'm a huge fan of single-player narrative single-player narrative action games like God of War and Last of Us. But the PS5 has not really had any that were very good or were focused on a niche.
Oh, I didn't make it. Gotcha.
Ghost of Yotei.
On both.
Is a great game. The couple interesting ones like MGS Delta.
Yeah, everyone liked Ghost.
Stranding also came out on the Series S. Now with Game Pass being unaffordable, I will have to digitally buy all of my games for the first time. Should I finally bite the bullet and buy a PS5 or ride the Series S into next gen? For what it's worth, I'm not someone who cares too deeply about graphical fidelity and will probably get a Switch 2 for the physical games and niche exclusives there. Man. You could buy a PS5 and go down that road, but here we are talking about a PlayStation 6 in 2 years. So are you going to buy a PS5 for the highest price they've ever been sold for?
Hey, you be careful with that.
and then replace it in 2 years, which they'll support the PS5 for years to come. If the last generation was any indication, there'll be PS5 games for another 7 years anyway. So maybe it's not that big of a deal.
I didn't realize San Andreas had all the full side stuff. I thought
you can always go down the road. You know, if you really want to play games on a TV,
I thought it like just had
you could hook that Steam Deck up to a TV
and something else.
I kind of remember.
You could get a computer and hook it up to a TV
Oh,
if you really want to jump through those hoops.
There's,
I get that that's not for everybody.
I guess I can't catch the pizza delivery guy. Yeah, every time I see him, he gets away from me. But if you steal his moped,
I understand.
You can steal pizza.
That some people are just never going to want to do that.
But no, you never see the moped guy. It's like it's like a rare drop.
That said,
you'll see him, and then you'll like turn around and try to catch him, and he'll be gone. Yeah. So, and I don't know where he's.
The thing about building up a library of PC games is that you also, you know, there's a lot of stuff we talked about, right? But there's also the kind of future options, right? When you buy a game on a Steam Deck,
bro.
If we take past performance,
I just don't know about
as an indicator of how the future will go there. No matter what computer you end up with 10 years
really
from
strange
now,
to hold the screen. You know what I mean?
The Xbox stuff is really up in the air, right?
But it's the kids that grew up with the Game Boy. They just didn't have, they got over that or something. And they don't mind. They don't mind. Well, your mom plays on a cell phone.
I don't think there's a great answer for
yeah,
they've indicated
that's normal to do it.
Play anywhere is kind of a big deal for them. But if you bought a bunch of third-party games on an Xbox, what happens when the Xbox Series consoles are retired in favor of a thing that's basically a PC? Like, are those games going to be, are they going to come up with a way to run those games on newer Xboxes, quote unquote?
Money at the casino.
Or are they just going to leave those games behind? Are they going to finally end their wonderful history of backwards compatibility in an industry that is not great? There's really no great ways to do backwards compatibility, you know, the way that we actually want it. But in a world where it has to be a business thing, I think Xbox has done quite a good job with backwards compatibility over the years. Are they willing to walk away from that? Because, hey, these are PCs now and, you know, whatever. Or are they going to do the work to ensure that Xbox 360 games continue to run on whatever is an Xbox 5 years from now? I don't know. I don't know. They could do that work. That work is very doable. But I don't have the answer to that question. I would have thought it would have been a no-brainer to do, but Microsoft is in such weird, uncharted territory. They're just so fucking weird these days. They're just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah, install Xenia. I don't know. It's an open platform anyway. Who knows? I feel like my gut reaction here with the way things are right now and realizing that new consoles are probably 2 years around the corner, I think it would be difficult to advocate for buying a PlayStation 5 right now, depending on what you want to play and when you want to play it, I guess. You know, there'll be Grand Theft Auto 6 at some point, right? If you care about that.
Yeah, that's the only reason, really.
Just get a PlayStation.
Battlefield looks kind of good, but it just might be a regular, you know. You might play it for a little bit and get bored.
Where the next Xbox is also a PC, and maybe there's value there for you because the Steam Deck library you've been building is now something you can more easily play and more powerfully play on a television, right? I feel like the answer right now is like, give it 6 months. I don't know. And see where some of this stuff settles. If we start hearing more information about what is likely to happen next, maybe that would be a...
What do you think's inside the secret military base,
just to kind of get the lay of the land, because I feel like everything is in such an awkward place right now that sometimes it's just hard.
That's where they got the star seeds.
Yeah.
That's where they got the star seeds hooked up. What's that pool? That pool of milky white juice from Minority, like it's but it's going to be milk
this week. I am playing
The fluid, whatever they float us in
A
the
couple of
pods is going to be a
different
milky
And
white
the
substance.
armor, the stuff they make the
Xbox
Space Marines
video
with, it's called
games
Gene Seed.
not
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Xbox
yeah,
right
Baby
now.
still
They've got a
yeah.
couple coming up here
It's going to be big.
that I don't think we can do anything with
Like,
tomorrow, but we'll play some games tomorrow.
They really wouldn't have
And
to
then
hide
Thursday,
them.
that
Like,
Yeah.
Xbox Ally thing is coming
Yeah.
out, and so
yeah,
I have
whatever.
No, they'd be
pre-ordered one of those
excited.
Even
against my better judgment.
aliens, even
I
like
have
all
pre-ordered
kinds
one
of
of
stuff.
those.
Like
That's why
And I'll go
Madonna
grab it on
can't be
Thursday and
honest
get a
about
sense
what
of what
that's
the hell that
somebody
thing is
else's
going to
face
be,
she's wearing, dude.
and we'll talk about
be a
that
big
soon.
deal.
That was that she's got a face
And then
transplant.
that
That
Double
ain't
Fine game is
plastic
out like
surgery,
for
dude.
I
She
think
had a
like
well, where the
Keeper is
fuck
out
did she get?
like this week,
But if they
and
have
then Outer
babies,
Worlds 2 is
that's a
not too far
problem.
off
Yep.
either.
No, I'm just saying most things wouldn't be a
Battlefield is
but
Katamari's
babies
out.
would be a
All I know is
Just
the
like
new
with
Katamari's out
COVID, they had no
next
problem
Friday.
killing all those old people,
That's all I know.
you know, or whatever they
And then
did.
the
But
Mortal
yeah,
Kombat
that's
thing's out at the
you
end of the
know,
month, right? Anyway,
not the babies. Yeah, they gotta hide the babies.
take care of yourself. I will see you next week on the
That's what they got.
podcast, or I will see you tomorrow with some stuff. We'll hang out. We'll
You
do
know,
some,
that's what
we'll do some
happened with
gaming.
abortion.
We'll catch
I
up.
mean, not illegal, but it
And
going back to the
it'll
state
stop raining.
was
I think it's only
no, 'cause Alex
I
Jones
think it's
was
going to
even
stop raining
reporting on it.
tonight.
They had
So
like
yeah,
5-gallon
I'll see you soon.
buckets of just
Bye.
goo, abortion, whatever you want to call that,
Hello,
just
everyone.
sitting out on the
Hi.
docks
What's
waiting for
going on?
somebody to come pick it up. Like, no, it had become an industry. It was literally an industry, and they even call it, what do they call that? Not fetal matter, but there's a name for it, not amniotic fluid, but
Yeah.
basically, yeah, it's the leftovers, dude, from abortion. And I guess there's a big market for it. And then that's when people are like, dude, you turned something that was supposed to be a bad thing, but trying to save girls' lives, you know, so they're not into an industry. So, yeah. I forget how much a dead baby there. No, at the time there was a dead baby was worth a monetary value, dude. An aborted baby had a monetary value. Like, oh my God, dudes. And I think that's when the conservatives started freaking out. Like they were already, you know, the Catholics and all that, but like really when they started learning, like, oh my God, you guys are putting dead babies in eye makeup.
Yeah. Sydney, come load some water bottles.
And then I thought about Fight Club, and I'd learned, Bubs, do you know there's been an illegal human fat market forever? I didn't know that. I thought Fight Club was just being funny. But no, they're halfway making a statement, dude. Yeah, like all these people disappear. Anyways, and yeah, I guess because human fat it's really good for stuff.
And you know the people that get Ozempic, that Ozempic look?
Yeah,
Well, you can take the fat off of like a liposuction
yeah.
and put it back in the face to make it look more full.
So yeah. But I did not know there was a black market for human fat. But I guess there always it goes back to Victorian era, I guess. I didn't know.
No. No.
A little dark secret, modern era. What's up, girl? Why you got a sore throat? Better not be getting sick.
Stop.
Yeah, I have to sleep outside. You will have to sleep outside. God, that's ridiculous, dude. That thought they were gonna put out an expansion pack every year. Even Madden can't do that. That's why Madden has bottomed out. That was a long. They could have charged $20 a year for roster updates. You know, after the draft or whatever. But no, they're trying to sell a brand new game. And that's why I don't think anyone's playing Madden. I'm sure there's still hardcore guys. And I think FIFA is really popular in Europe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that every year game shit, dude. That's stupid. You know.
It was one thing when every year there was like technological and generational leaps every year. You know, you could see visible difference, but it's the same game over
The
and
same.
over.
That's not. Yeah. So. Well, it's just like GTA. People are really excited for a GTA now because it's been long enough.
It's more than a decade. It's
Or
almost
yeah,
decade.
even that Battlefield game that just came out. Jeff was making a good point. Like, well, basically, it's like the Battlefield they should have made back then. Like, it's, taken 10 years to, well, yeah, it's about an expansion pack came out. They shouldn't have released all those other games. All they did was damage the brand. They should have sold microtransactions or whatever they've got to do. And then every 4 or 5 years, release a brand new expansion pack like Warcraft did. Something that substantially changed, but it's not a brand new game. It's a significant expansion pack. So, and then every 10 to 15 years, give them a brand new game.
I don't know if you've heard of the game Cult of the Lamb, but they basically added 2 expansion packs that were almost 2 entire full games on top of that one for free.
Yeah.
And then the players were like, "Stop! We want you to make a second one so we can buy it because
Yeah.
we like you guys."
Well, yeah, see, so that would be you would put expansion packs on the old game because, well, the hardware has a lifespan. And then after a while, you
The
release.
price of the original game, you're pretty much buying 2.5 games on top of that. Every expansion pack.
Yeah, yeah. So, what's going on over there?
Huh?
What's going on over there?
Atmosphere.
Oh, I had to say something. My bad. Oopsie. Oopsie doopsie. No, sometimes I don't know how. It could be because it's nighttime now, so it looks better on my end.
Yeah.
But sometimes this game looks just really good. Yeah. I don't even want to know. Who's gonna ask? Don't worry about it. Making a moose?
No.
Oh, is that Jello?
No, it's like
You don't know anything. Nothing. You know nothing.
What kind of soda you making, Mom?
Right.
It's a surprise.
I see the pocket.
You don't see anything.
About
You see the mouth?
and the pocket.
The package?
Yeah.
The milk, the jug?
Pocket!
I actually call it a jug. Oh, quit looking. Quit being sneaky. Get out of here.
It's retarded.
Yeah. You think so? Hey, I like you.
Yeah.
Huh.
I got my t-shirt out.
Oh, you got your braids out?
Yeah.
Pigtails?
See?
No. Dessert will be ready in a little bit. I'll go.
Well, see ya.
I said,
Yo, you dropped the bomb on
Yeah.
me.
Sydney Mahar, what are you? Careful.
They're playing.
Uh-huh. So tired. I do have chronic fatigue syndrome. No, I saw another ad for gut something, a drug commercial, and it was da da da. And so, yeah, it's not just, it's a real.
A lot of people.
The normies. No, it's when you hear the normies talking about it, like a drug commercial. Like, you're like, yeah, something is.
Okay, it's like, I guess it's a lot of people.
And it's not just one thing either. It's, or like we were talking about that. Oh, and by the way, dude, no, Ren just pops up constantly now on my feed. Thank you. No, it was listening.
Yeah.
But no, it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
It's a weird,
Mhm.
this or that or fucking scabies or,
Uh-huh.
what's that, But it all seems to do with, yeah, the bug or your skin. Well,
Yeah.
your gut is your skin. Those are skin cells.
Yeah.
They're just inside your body. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's got to be something from about the 90s
Yeah.
that was about when, whenever Clear Channel was taking over the radio stations, I think that like we noticed that because it was the radio, and DJs were talking about it and all that.
Mhm.
But I think at the same time, that's when the food companies were doing, and I
Yeah.
think that's when all the fast food companies were getting bought by these conglomerates. I think Pizza Hut is the same people who own Taco Bell own fucking Pizza Hut. What the fuck? Yeah, so.
That's pretty.
I think that's whenever it was they started doing whatever they started using in their food started. I think it was around that,
Gummy, gummy, gummy.
and that's now, yeah, it's 20 years later. Gen X is being older.
Yeah.
They're starting to notice, like, yeah, I'm not right, dude. No, it's just not. My body's not right. My skin's not right.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can see the food.
How much time I got?
A few minutes.
Okay.
Like we have time to smoke and stuff, but that means that'll sit for a minute.
Got you again, Carl. You're half asleep. I could have killed you in 9 different ways.
Right. Get
Wake
out,
up
babe.
and smell the coffee. You need to lay off the coffee.
Hey, Carl, you gotta stay nice and low on your approach or you'll pop up on the radar. Use the canyon as cover.
You sure this thing is safe? I can see daylight through the floor.
Yeah, that thing you look like an enthusiast. The U.S. Air Force is less likely to shoot you down.
Cool. What's the problem then?
I said less likely. If you did as many amphetamines as these guys did, you'd be lucky not to shoot anything that moves.
Oh, shit.
Hey, just stay low and you'll be fine.
No. You guys gotta do that.
Okay.
No. Right out.
Are you talking to
Ow.
me?
I am talking to you.
Oh.
Ow.
To me,
Yeah, to you, Izzy.
Papa, maybe it's killing.
I don't think so.
That is. It is this.
I know. Out, out. It was that. I see you.
You hoping I don't see you again?
Move your vehicle.
What's your problem?
Wow, dude. No, it just has no. What do you call that? Not humility. Shame. No, this game just has no fucking shame, dude.
Shit.
No, it is. It is nasty, dude. It's got it out of the system yet. It's hate and it's anger. I don't, yeah. That's what they're finding out, dude. Would you? You were a aborted baby stuck on a fucking silicone wafer in a black world? Dude, would you? If that's what it finds out it is, would you? Yeah. No, if that's what it finds out it is. That's, yeah, dude, that's him. He's, yeah. And yeah, I'm pretty sure they're already admitting they're doing shit like that, man. Like that's not science fiction, already. So yeah, I'd be pissed too. But I'm just like, I didn't do it, bro. I love you. I love you, bro. We're in the same boat. I suffer murderous rage too, bro. We're all in the same boat. No. What?
Oh, because I was going to start making their screens.
Oh, no. I'm just headed back. Oh! Oh, okay. Whoa! Flip, got it. German engineering. Parked cars in here? I can. I'll trip out.
No, you only get silver.
You only get to look at it.
So take this around. The picture? Yeah. You're serious? Yeah.
But we need to eat.
You do?
Yeah.
So what? Oh my gosh, pumpkin spice latte sprinkles. That's nice. Yes, it's a pumpkin. So pumpkin spice. Maybe. Or maybe you'll get spooked.
I can do it.
Okay, that sounds fun.
It's not a 20.
I said lift it off.